What's up, guys? It's Mitch with SC Weather. Just up here on the roof from a weather station in the background. You know, pretty safe. Anyways, the weather this week, man, it doesn't look any much different than the last update I made. It looks pretty boring. It looks pretty average up until we get to about Friday or so, and then it looks like we torch as in it looks like we're going to be in the 60s and 70s from around the 10th of January coming up through about maybe the 15th or 16th. 60s or 70s for highs for the entire state. Maybe in the farther northeastern part of the states, maybe some 50s for highs. No freeze. The best chance we got of a freeze is here in a couple days. We'll have 2 nights where it looks like most of the upstate will probably get below freezing. Maybe a couple nights, but the Midlands down to the low country, we may not even see freezing, except for out there in like the rural areas and country and stuff like that. It's pretty sad. We're entering the middle of January. We're starting to kind of come into the coldest part of winter, and we're about to torch the middle of January. And as far as a pattern change, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing at all. I don't see nothing on the horizon, anything in the long range. I'm gonna do a little split screen here. If you look here, you'll see what I'm talking about with the 60s and 70s for highs. And I'm gonna give you kind of a clip of the Euro, kind of a basic clip from Tropical Tidbits. It's a free site that I use for weather models. This look right here, that is not the look you want to see. As you can see, the reds and oranges and whatever, you got it kind of ridging up through the southeast. That's what you call the southeast ridge. It happens in the summer. It can happen in all seasons, but when it happens in the winter, you basically here in the southeast in South Carolina, you get humid for winter. You get humid air, dew points 50s and 60s, sometimes even a 70, and you get highs in the 60s and 70s for temperature wise, and sometimes you get isolated 80 degrees like we did the other day. Obviously, it's a pattern that it's very hard to shake, and it's hard to get out of these patterns in the winter and even in the summer. And you just get days where you'll get cold intervals, meaning you get 1 or 2 days of cold weather, kind of like today, Sunday. We got highs in the 50s. We got a little bit of a breeze. It's pretty nippy outside. This is what a January day is supposed to feel like, maybe even a little touch colder. But we're just not getting a lot of these days, and those days don't even deliver winter weather. We can't even get many of these days. We just keep getting days in 60s and 70s. So as we enter the 10th to the 15th range, we are going to torch. We're going to be in the 60s and 70s for highs, even maybe some mid to upper 70s some days. It's going to feel like spring. It's probably going to psych some vegetation out. You're going to start to see weeds popping up in your yard. A little ridiculous. Gnats flying around. Just ridiculous weather. Honestly, it's going to be one of the warmest stretches in the middle of January that I've seen, you know, in some time. It's not super rare, but it's ridiculous. So looking past, I want to show a little clip of the GFS long range, which is bogus, guys. It's trash. I don't even know why I'm showing it, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. It shows it kind of showing here after we break down this ridge. Maybe towards the end of January, we can start to get some cooler weather. Now keep in mind, guys, the natives here, the old folks, I mean, you ain't got to be old to know this. Most of our winter storms come in February. Usually the end of January into February, and we've had some big dogs in March. And actually, you get a higher snowfall average around here in March than you do in December. So, you know, winter's not over. It looks pretty depressing right now, just like it did last year. But we'll see what happens as we enter the end of January. But I'll tell you what, folks, we're wasting a lot of winter with this bogus southeast ridge and this bad pattern. Some people like it. Me as a weather enthusiast, I like winter weather. I want to see something interesting like snow. We haven't got a big winter storm here in Columbia, South Carolina since February of 2014. That's a pretty long stretch. It's not unheard of. We've had longer stretches, but it's a pretty long stretch. So we're coming up on the 6-year mark of no significant winter weather. So we're gonna try to break that, guys, eventually, but we're about to enter a pretty warm period. So stay tuned. I'll update here in about a week and see if anything looks different. Y'all have a good Sunday.